Rachel from the Trace team here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the data collection portal to show you just how easy it is to navigate the data collection process. Depending on the size and complexity of your company, we find that most businesses can collate the data they need within 2 hours. A small service-based business with one office may even take less time. A large organization with hundreds of staff working from multiple locations can, however, take longer. Once you've decided to complete a carbon assessment, we'll send you the link to our data collection portal, which I will go ahead and open right now. So here we are on the first page of the data collection portal. As you can see, we start with showing a high-level picture of where you are in the process to becoming carbon neutral. Submitting your data is the first step. We've also provided data collection checklists that you can download and share with your team to understand what data is required. Please also note that each page will have a brief video talking about the data required in that section. For the sake of time, I have pre-populated my information, but as you can see, the first page is designed to capture your company name, website, industry, and primary currency. The most important piece of information on this page is the number of full-time employees you have. We will use this number for benchmarking purposes to compare your carbon footprint per employee to other similar companies in your industry. Please note you can also save and return at any time to this form. If you click the Save button at the bottom right-hand corner, it will provide you a link that you can either copy and save or send the link directly to your email. While we're here, I also wanted to point out that we have our chat box feature that allows you to drop in a question at any point in the process, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can to answer that inquiry. If you feel like you need to discuss parts of your data collection or specific areas that you have questions around your data, please feel free to book in a call directly with us following this link. Now starting at the top of the second page. You can see we show the various emission categories we collect data in. We'll start with the energy used by your workforce and in your buildings, then look at your travel, including commute, supplier spend, and lastly, waste. If you're a large organization with multiple locations, please feel free to reach out to us for a data collection template that can be shared with your team. Click the link here to receive your copy. Now, to select your measurement period. Our carbon assessment will look at data covering 12 months. We highly recommend using actuals, so a prior 12-month period. This can be year-to-date, calendar, or fiscal year. While we do provide the option for a future 12-month period, do keep in mind using forecasted data will require a true-up at the close of the 12-month period and requires an extra step. If your business is set to change significantly over the next 12 months, don't worry, this will be captured in your assessment next year. Now to look at your operating locations. We start with what is typically the largest part of your footprint, energy data by location. In this section, we're looking for the location, the number of employees, and the amount of time employees typically work from home. We then dig into the type of building you have and where they are located. We collect the address to see if you're in a neighbors rated building, as we have access to this database. If you are in a neighbors rated building, we'll use the emissions per square meter provided by neighbors. This provides an even more accurate understanding of your energy consumption. We also want to know the square meters of your workplace. We will use this to make sure the energy use you've reported matches our benchmarks. When entering your electricity, gas, and water usage, you have 2 different options: providing actual consumption, selecting yes, and inputting your kilowatt hours per quarter. We do understand, however, that this is often difficult to access. So you can select no, and in that case, we will use our benchmarks based on the square meters you provided above. Next up in the data collection process is Commute. We've broken Commute into 3 main categories: walking or cycling, driving by car, including taxis and rideshare, and public transport. If employees work entirely remote, please select NA. We then break the commute type into one of 4 distance categories, starting with short all the way to extra long. Each category defines the kilometers within. And the last spot captures the % of staff that travel in this manner. please do ensure that the total percentages sum to 100% before submitting the form. If you are completely unsure of how your employees commute, we can help you to accurately gather this data with our employee campaign. This helps your staff to understand their personal carbon footprint. Moving on now to travel. Business travel includes all transport related to business operations, including air travel, public transport, taxis and rideshare, business mileage using private vehicles, and corporate accommodation. Let's start with air travel. Air travel is broken down by the class of flights taken, so economy or business, first class. If you don't know, simply select unknown and we'll use a blended average. While kilometers traveled is our preferred data, if you don't have access to this figure, you can instead provide the number of flights per month broken into 4 different distance categories. Each category shows the associated time. In other travel, please enter any travel outside of air travel. Again, we always prefer kilometers per travel type. However, if you are unable to access this information, please provide spend as an alternative option. And lastly, we'll record any business accommodation. This data can be provided by inputting the number of nights booked. We then ask you to specify the percent of nights that were spent in an average hotel versus premium or eco. Each type of hotel has a different associated emissions factor. And then the last section is only for companies that own a company car or operate fuel-consuming machinery. In this section, we will specifically ask for the total fuel in liters consumed per month. We've made it to suppliers. This section addresses the monthly spend you have on the goods and services you procure for your business. These are part of your Scope 3 emissions and can often account for a significant amount of your own organization's carbon footprint. We apply an emissions factor to your spend to understand the footprint of each supplier. We've provided 20 different categories we believe to be representative of typical suppliers across all industries. We've pre-selected 7 categories that each business usually has monthly spend in. If you do feel your business doesn't have a supplier that fits into this category, please feel free to deselect. Start by ticking the boxes of the categories where you do have supplier spend each month. For each category selected, a drop-down box will appear. Please input the average spend per month for each supplier category selected, along with whether or not the supplier is or is not carbon neutral. We've now made it to the last page of the form, waste. We understand waste can be challenging to measure. Because of this, we've provided 3 different options based on the data you do have available. So the first option, and our preferred option, is actual data. If you have actual data, please select the type of waste, the quantity of waste, and the approximate portion that is recycled or composted each month. The second option, if you don't have actual data, is estimated. Based on the number of bins, bin size, how often they're collected per month, and how full they typically are when they're collected. And our last option, for those of you who have no idea, we can use the square meters of your office space provided earlier in the energy section against our benchmarks to create an estimated waste figure on your behalf. Please don't let the fear of inaccuracy deter you from submitting data in this section. Rather, see it as a starting point for collecting better data around waste for your next carbon emissions assessment. For service-based companies, you can skip through the remaining portions of the data collection form until you land on the final page titled Sustainability Initiatives. It'll just require a couple clicks through. In this section, we've broken down sustainability actions into 4 categories: energy and buildings, policies and travel, circular economy, and philanthropy. Please tick the boxes your company have implemented actions in. If we've missed any areas, feel free to drop in additional information in the free form space here. We'll take this into consideration. And lastly, please upload your logo with a transparent background. We'll include this in your carbon assessment report. We've made it to the last page in the data collection portal. The final page simply consists of you agreeing that the data provided is a true reflection of your organizational activities during the selected measurement period, and also signing off on our terms of service. Providing your digital signature is the final step. Congratulations, you're now officially done with data collection. Great work. You've accomplished the first step in becoming carbon neutral.